next is the PSG against Manchester City. Doesn't get any bigger than this. The oil derby, some fans are calling it online. Oil derby. On a much serious note, advantage City, of course. A game of two halves, of course. And like mentioned on previous episode, PSG can Mbappe or Neymar all they want, if you know what I mean by that. But at the end, if Man City decides to play like they did in the second half, it's pretty much individuals all out the window, and it shows that the second half, I think, what Ederson has more touches than Mbappe in the whole game. That itself is a scary statistics. With the amount of possessions they have, that's what Guardiola team always does. Great teams in the past who managed to topple Pep's Guardiola's is where their turnovers and counter attack is great and good. But it is where you take your chances and manage it properly. I mean, we saw in the first half with PSG, they throw everything at Man City and they got a goal to reward it. But then, against the run of play, they didn't really do anything. That goal was coming from a corner by Marquinhos, and there were a lot of missed chances as well. So Man City, in hindsight, they must see it as getting away from the first half. And then in came second half, and it was all Man City. I mean, it's almost unplayable. Idrissa Gueye, Neymar, and Mbappe track back, doing the pressing, didn't do any difference. Di Maria was great in the first half, but the second half was just, again, missing, and Mbappe too. But I have to say, the ball from Kevin De Bruyne, of course, it's expecting, it's not meant to be like that, but of course, it's expecting any Man City players to touch it, but the area in which he put in was a stroke of genius, if you ask me. Because if you play the game, you will know that it's the most annoying ball to ever be put in if you are a centre back or if you are a goalkeeper. Mostly the goalkeeper. The most annoying, really, for the ball to bounce at a header / mid level, because you can't anticipate. And if you look closely, he doesn't. Kevin De Bruyne, he doesn't take a step to cross it, so it kind of caught the players by surprise when he whooped it in. I also would like to point out that Ilkay Gundogan is brilliant in the second half. He has been, quote unquote, the Xavi role for Guardiola in Barcelona. Tonight he really controlled that midfield, and it was a typical show. Second half, under Herrera, Paredes, even the track back by Mbappe, they couldn't get near him. His angles, his touches were all overshadowed by the disappointing first half he had. All in all, it's a great midfield performance from Ilkay Gundogan. Do I think PSG had a chance in the second leg? Look, the thing is for me is that PSG scored 4 against Barcelona, scored 3 against Bayern, but I will give them 20% chance because, firstly, that game, Barcelona's defense was horrible, and Bayern Munich made some very bad decision making that night. Niklas Süle wasn't stepping out along with the back line when Neymar whooped that cross in. I think I saw it again on the replay the other day. I think he was somewhere else. He was looking down. He wasn't looking at the line. So just a bad night in the office for Bayern that night, which turned in is the difference with this Man City side. There is no room for error for this Man City side, just like the free kick for Mahrez. You know what? By next week, we may be looking at that free kick as the difference maker. That is how much small the differences between PSG and Manchester City. Semi-finals in a European Champions League match, there shouldn't be an error like that at this level of football with the wall and all that. I don't want to get into that because I think it's pointless. I think it's pointless right now to point out that the wall shouldn't be looking away. We see it with Juventus and Ronaldo. Plus, it's all first leg away from home. Going back to the argument saying that this PSG guys they scored against Barcelona and Bayern. All of that is first leg first. They played the away game first, away from home, and there is arrogance from the PSG side playing away from home first, because if you get that goal, with your frightening attacking prowess with Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, it's advantage, and I think the real test right now is PSG. So no, I think it will take a lot of collective effort. Sorry, did I take advantage PSG? No, advantage Man City. Sorry, yeah, advantage is surely in Man City. So going back to that, right? I think it will take a lot of collective effort to break down this Man City side at the Etihad, especially when you have given them a head start with a 2-1, 2 goals, and if this Man City turn up against, I think the score should be 2-3-0 maybe, easy. I don't see Man City letting in 3 or 4 goals. And another thing I want to point out is that while I think Mauricio Pochettino is a great coach in modern football, I don't know why did Pochettino sub out Di Maria, their best player, to sacrifice after the 10 men. I actually think it should be either Neymar or Mbappe, but of course it's a hard decision to sub out your star player, and that's the package that comes on being a PSG manager. You see, PSG, unlike some clubs like Chelsea and Man City, PSG directors and the upper managements, they interfere in some of the quote-unquote football aspects of the brand, PSG. I think guys like the Arabian owners and Leonardo, the sporting directors, they have no business on interfering with PSG, and that's where I think Pochettino have not a lot to say in all this. Like, can you imagine if after the sending off and Pochettino took out Di Maria and put under Herrera, and they let in more goals? All the press and media would be like, they should have tucked in Di Maria and take out Neymar and Mbappe instead. What I'm trying to say is, Neymar and Mbappe after the sending off is a huge gap to protect the deficit of the goals, cause they are not like centrally protecting the lead, protecting the team. They are forwards. At least Di Maria, with him, he's much more of a winger, yes, but he has played in central before. And yeah, it could have been a bad night for Pochettino just because he can't sub out Mbappe and Neymar. It could have been awful, but nobody's talking about it, so I'll drop it. It's because on the surface it's still probably 60-40 or 70-30 advantage Man City, of course, but people are not talking about it because it's not a thrashing, and technically with no crowd, it's not a bad result for a 2-1 trail. Anything can happen in the Etihad. I just hope that Pochettino plays his cards right this time around. A 0-0 draw won't put him under pressure in the second leg, or a 1-1 draw, but a heavy defeat like 3 or 4-0, will be some turnover next season, and it will be a lot of questions is gonna be asked of him. So anyway, what a great 2 nights of Champions League football. Personally, I'm glad there's no like VAR. There's no like controversial like any previous semi-finals of the Champions League, and personally, deep down inside, I see Man City and Chelsea in the final, and which I have predicted. So yeah.